Hello, today in history, we'll be looking at the topic political developments in Nigeria, the colonial conquest of the eastern Nigeria. Under the colonial conquest of the eastern Nigeria, we'll look at the life and times of King Jaja of Opobo. Let's look at the brief biography of King Jaja of Opobo. King Jaja of Opobo, born Mbanaso Ozurumba in Umuduruoha, Amibo, Imo State. He was born in 1821. He was kidnapped and sold to Bonny Island, present Rivers State, where he was renamed Jubo by his first master and Jaja by the British, who couldn't pronounce Jubo. He became known to his European trading partners. He traversed the domestic slave system of the southern eastern Nigeria. He arrived in the Delta trading state of Bonny in 1833. He obtained tremendous wealth and political influence through the burgeoning palm oil trade, ultimately becoming the head of one of Bonny's most influential canoe houses. King Jaja of Opobo, after he was kidnapped from his hometown in Imo State and taken to Bonny Island and sold there, his master was also into slave trading. So he grew under the leadership of his master. His master was also into oil palm business. When he was serving his master, he learned the way of trading this oil palm. He got knowledge from his master, and he also learned how to bargain with the Europeans. From there, he grew. He had his own canoe, and he also obtained other canoes. When he became free from his master, he obtained tremendous wealth, and he grew from a slave to a king. That was how he emerged the king of Bonny Island. He was the one who found Bonny Island. So after the demise of his master, the European traders were still coming to Bonny to buy oil through him. But he was also taxing them. So when they come, they have to pay for tax. But at the time, they were no longer comfortable with paying tax. They tried to boycott him by buying directly from the traders, but he didn't let that happen. So they devised a means to get him out of their way. And that will take us to how the eastern conquest, the eastern region, was conquered by the British. How the British conquered Opobo. At the 1884 Berlin Conference, the Europeans designated Opobo as British territory. When Jaja refused to seek taxing the British traders, Henry Hamilton Johnston, a British vice consul, invited Jaja for negotiations in 1887. Jaja was arrested on arrival aboard a British vessel. He was tried in Accra in the Gold Coast, now Ghana, then exiled, first to London and later to St. Vincent and Barbados in the British West Indies. His presence in the West Indies was alleged to be one of the causes of civil unrest, as the people of Barbados of African descent were upset at the poor treatment of their king from their homeland. Now we are still talking about how the British conquered the Opobo. After the Berlin Conference of 1884, where the Europeans agreed on how to divide the West African territories, how to possess their lands, possess their natural resources, and possess the people. When they came back from that, they designated Opobo as a British territory. Then, King Jaja refused to stop taxing the British traders. He also boycotted when they tried to boycott him by buying directly from the traders. He didn't allow that to happen. They now made a plan behind him. They told him that he should come for a peace talk in a British vessel. He thought they were telling him the truth. When he entered the vessel, they arrested him. They sent him on exile. They took him to Ghana and sent him on exile. Then they tried him there, found him guilty, and sent him to St. Vincent and Barbados in the British Indies. When the blacks who were in the British Indies heard of that, but they were coming to try him there, they refused to let them in. They stopped that from happening, and They didn't let them, because they didn't let that happen. They were not able to try him again in the West Indies. So they decided to allow him go back to his country, Nigeria, to return to his people. On his way back to Nigeria, he died. Now, when King Jaja of Opopo was sent on exile, the British were able to conquer Opopo. That was the story on how the British conquered Opopo. This has brought us to the end of this lesson today on how the Eastern region was colonized by the British. Let us look at the assessment section. Question number 1. What was the state of origin of King Jaja of Opopo? Where was King Jaja first tried after the British sent him on exile? Drop your answer at the comment section. That will be all for today. Thank you for watching. See you in our next demo.